This.
Cruising for a bruising.
Jeez. I impress myself sometimes.
Ben is going to start off with a ponder here off of a tropical island. See if he is happy with what he finds. She's already got Stoneforge Mystic of Force Will as well.
The mana in the Deathblade deck is a little sketchy, but fortunately for Ben, not playing against a Wasteland build of Delver. That's one of the costs of going to this blue-red shell. Wasteland, the deck is all about cheap one-mana red and blue cards. You can't really afford to put Wasteland in, so Ben can be very liberal about how he fetches, what kind of hands he keeps, and so on.
Alex will sacrifice a Mr. Rainforest. He's down to 19. Volcanic Island is what he's going to search up. Excuse me. Checking to see actually if Ben has any Wastelands in his deck. He actually has 2. You typically see 2 be the number that these Deathblade decks do play. We'll see what Alex wants to do here on his first turn of the game. Will be time to cantrip, maybe get some Swift Spear beats in, but it is a ponder. This will resolve. So take a look at a couple cards here.
And I think for Ben, he needs to approach the matchup as Alex has a finite number of threats. Arguably, the Swift Spear doesn't matter if the game goes in a certain way. And he's got his treasure cruises. And that's all I need to fight about. So I don't think you're going to see him fight over cantrips, little nickel and dime exchanges. He's going to let Alex have all of them and try to fight over the big stuff.
Ponder the draw. See a Marsh Flats over there. Again, Stoneforge Mystic at the ready. Though I do find it rather unlikely that Stoneforge Mystic either A, resolves, or B, you actually get to put an equipment in. And between the Fork Bolts and the Lightning Bolts and Chain Lightnings and stuff, it just seems rather unlikely that play with Stoneforge Mystic and slide it through the vial.
And I think Ben agrees with you because he's not even bothering to get a white source of mana right now.
Yeah.
He's going to go do something else.
Underground Sea. And now Pondering. So take a look at a Marsh Flats, a Spell Pierce, and another Underground Sea. No interest in those, so Glancy will shuffle.
Keep in mind, Glancy also playing with Treasure Cruise this weekend.
Yeah, We've 3 of those.
Been having a lot of conversation about Alex and his blue-red Delver deck here, but 3 in Ben's as well.
Don't really think of that kind of card as an Esper Deathblade card, but I think we may reevaluate where we see Treasure Cruise in a lot of places now.
So I guess the over on my line earlier today would have been the correct bet?
Easy.
Easy over.
10.5, great line.
Yeah.
Here's a Brainstorm. That's a Spell Pierce. Absolutely not. Good use of Spell Pierce, I think, too.
There's not lots of Spell Pierce in Alex's deck besides the cantrips. I suppose Treasure Cruise as well. And with Alex leading with a fetch land here, worth the fight.
Alex will pass it back over to Glancy. Glancy's going to draw. He picks up a copy of Thoughtseize. Not a bad way to lead things off. Going to play a copy of Caracas. And now it's Stoneforge Mystic. See if this resolves. The interesting thing here is if you're supposed to lead off with Stoneforge or you're supposed to lead off with Thoughtseize. Of course, if you lead off with Thoughtseize, that means maybe you can't play your Stoneforge Mystic because of a daze.
Exactly. I think Ben doesn't want to be in a position where he has to care about daze this turn. He may not even follow up with a Thoughtseize.
This is true.
Talk about how much Alex has been playing Deathblade over the years. The Stoneforge Mystic resolves and he went to pick up his own deck.
Really?
No. Yeah, touched it for a second there. Sorry, man. This is actually mine this time.
He's home to search up a GT. Now, here is Thoughtseize. Alex is going to sacrifice this Scalding Tarn. This might be a Brainstorm here, potentially, maybe to hide some cards. Could also be a Daze. We'll see.
Yeah, and Ben doesn't care if the Thoughtseize trades with the Daze here. He's happy to set Alex behind the land drop. The blue-red Delver deck is so redundant that it's just, whatever.
There's a Lightning Bolt. Get rid of the Stoneforge Mystic. Here's the Grip. Forcible Treasure Cruise, Forked Bolt, and a Mountain. Alex will be able to reload pretty soon here, actually.
If Ben has a Force of Will of his own, then I can imagine him taking Treasure Cruise here, trying to get the other Treasure Cruise, and then strand Alex with very little action.
Ben does have 4 copies of Force of Will in his deck. Again, that's something you typically see in these Deathblade decks. You don't see a lot of Force of Wills. Maybe 4 throughout the 75, some on the board. Typically, you'll see him start maybe 2.
It's kind of the unfortunate timing with this Thoughtseize here because Alex currently with 4 cards in the graveyard. Thoughtseize something that's 5. The third land drop is 6, 7, 8.
Wah, wah, wah. And one thing that Alex doesn't have to really worry about is a card like Daze. So let's see if he just wants to go cruising for a bruising here. Yep. He might actually have 6 cards in the bin. Yeah. Life is really easy now. Force of Will, removing Dillian Click.
And this is the risk that Ben's taking here. If Alex has found a blue card of his own on the draw step, he gets forced back, and Ben's in a lot of trouble. But it appears as Alex drew another bolt. And so Ben is in the clear.
Glancy draws a card. Well, somebody found a treasure cruise.
Don't mind if I do.
Cruising for a bruising. 3 cards coming. Alex wants to make sure. Yeah.
Just a quick price check.
Clear for takeoff. True Name Nemesis among the cards that have been found. There's a Flooded Strand.
The thing is, you can be pretty confident that Alex didn't draw a daze because he would have he would have used that daze to force a will on the treasure cruise, either his own on the way or on the way back.
Yeah.
So I think if I was Ben, I would have just fired off the True Name
True Name,
Nemesis. All the evidence points to Alex doesn't have daze in hand, so I'm not a big fan of this level of conservative play because I think it's basically 0% that Alex has daze in hand.
Tundra, the land that Ben is going to search up here. It looks like he may cast a Ponder as well. Yep, that's what he's going to do. That's going to resolve. So hit 1 and 2 and 3. Tundra, Underground Sea, and a Liliana of the Veil are the options here for Glancy. Going to consult the grip. He's got a True Name over there. Batterskull as well. He searched up that Umezawa Chite with the Stoneforge Mystic. And he will keep. So he's got some interest in a card like Liliana. Alex will draw. Looks like it was another red card. Didn't get a great look. This looks like it's a young Pyromancer. It is. And back to Glancy we go. Glancy will draw a card. There's the Liliana of the Veil that he knew was coming.
Now this is the cost of the line of play that Ben took last turn, is he could be equipping a Chite onto a True Name Nemesis and attacking this turn. Instead, he's 1 turn back, but probably doesn't matter too much, assuming this combo sticks.
Yeah, assuming that, Alex didn't draw a blue card that turn, too, because by waiting, he actually gave Alex the opportunity to draw a blue card for the Force of Will.
Yes.
So that could have been actually a disaster state. But things work out appropriately here for Ben. His True Nemesis does have an Umezawa Chite on it. Now Alex is in a world of trouble because I'm not entirely sure how his blue-red Delver deck beats this.
Going to go ahead and look, and it appears that it is not happening. I mean, Alex can try to overpower it, but that's not a thing that works.
Pretty tough to overpower True Nemesis with an Umezawa Chite.
You asked me how he gets out, I'm telling you.
Well, fair enough. 3 more cards from a Brainstorm. 2 more cards are going to have to go back. He is going to have to try a swarm strategy. See what Alex likes to put back here. And there are the 2 cards. Let's see what this is going to be. 4th bolt. We're going upstairs. Yeah, this is really all I can do is just try to swarm around this thing.
Yep.
Ben's going to draw a land. He knew that was coming, too, from the Ponder. Now it's time to attack. Well, it's gonna have to tap to attack. Doesn't have a Batterskull on it. Not yet, at least.
I think Ben is casting a Batterskull post-combat, which is where the confusion came from.
Yeah. There's the Chite counters. Young Pyromancer, kindly leave. It's gone. 5 mana. Batterskull. Force of Will says no. So, we'll see if a swarm can happen. Young Pyromancer's gone. There's a Swift Spear. Beatdowns for 5. He says, I'm going to kill one of those, so I'll take 4. Down to 6, but Alex is empty-handed.
Alex is making a go of it.
And he's trying. Counting the Batterskull certainly matters. Take a draw here. I think it was another land there for Glancy. Liliana of the Veil, quite poor now. I was a little surprised to see him keep with that Ponder. And, Liliana is a fine card in this matchup, but not great. I feel like that's a card that, this blue or Delver deck can actually overpower.
Yeah, sometimes it's going to be good because Alex is going to be on 1 threat, or his hand's going to be, configured in such a way that plussing it over and over again is good, but not very good against this board.
There's Liliana. That's going to tick down. It's going to take care of one of those now. There is a world where Ben can lose this turn. If Alex peels like a treasure cruise into the necessary cards, it gets ugly.
Yep.
What's this going to be? Doesn't look like it's anything. Just has to pass the turn back. Glancy going to draw. Brainstorm is what he's found. He'll start by casting that. So 3 cards coming. Flooded Strand was how he started. Stoneforge Mystic, Force of Will, and a Marsh Flats. So some cards are going to go back here. Force of Will might be the check mark now since he has the necessary mana to hard cast it.
I'm a little surprised that Ben went there and put away the Stoneforge Mystic because a 1/2 blocker seems much better than having a Force of Will.
I suppose that's true. Ooh, lightning bolts. Not going to counter it. He's at 1.
Well, he's got to do this now.
Yep.
So
Pass the turn back. If Alex does draw a burn spell or a swift spear, how about a flooded strand? Not you. Excuse me, a scalding tarn. It's all the same. It could be any fetch land. It's all the same. Now True Name gets to run away with it.
Yep.
There's the attack for 3. There's the 2 counters. And Ben will pass the turn back, knowing that there's really nothing too bad that can happen. Alex will draw, pass the turn back over to Glancy. Glancy's going to attack. He'll pump this True Nemesis once. That'll be a lethal attack. It's a daze, and that's going to do it. Ben Glancy's going to win game number 1 here over Alex Bertoncini. As we're going to come back to us. You're ready, I hope.
Yes, I am. And Alex, we were laughing about him overpowering it. Almost happened.
He actually almost did.
He almost did it.
Yeah, came up just 1 point short there. So we'll get to the sideboards in that match in just a moment. But Alex, it's close. I think things probably get a little bit better after better for him. Excuse me, after sideboard.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Esper Deathblade also improves in most post-board scenarios because it just has a smattering of anti-beatdown cards, anti-combo cards, anti-control cards. But we will see in a moment. For now, it's trivia time.
Hashtag SCG Premium. Follow at SCG Live. You guys know the drill. 6 months for this question. We'll announce our winner at the conclusion of our semifinal round. And, of course, all contests and giveaways here on SCG Live are at sole discretion of Star City Games. Twitch.tv, no way affiliated with our contests or giveaways, though we do thank them for allowing us to broadcast on their fantastic network. Patrick, ask a doozy.
So all the questions so far, earlier today, Standard Open, and now thus far into Legacy Open, have been centered around Grand Prix, New Jersey, which is coming up right around the corner. But the question that I have for you is, what are the exact dates, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this event? Star City Games has a lot of activities planned on top of the main event. What are the dates of the events being held?
Name those dates. And with that, hashtag answer, SCG Premium. Make sure you're following at SCG Live. And again, we will announce the winner at the conclusion of our semifinal round. We're going to head back to the match, take a look at the sideboards for Alex B. He's got 2 Cages, a Needle, a Lavamancer, actually 2 of them, 2 Blood Moons. That's probably the best one, along with the Sulfuric Vortex, 3 Price of Progress, 3 Pyroblast, and a Smash to Smithereens. An interesting sideboard.
A lot of upgrades here. The Pyroblast can come in, although I don't know if they're great in this matchup because I think Alex cares a lot more about Stoneforge Mystic and some of the removal spells. But the Smash to Smithereens, the Pithy Needle, good answers to the equipment. 2 copies of Blood Moon are lights out against Ben. The 1 Sulfuric Vortex, excellent against Umezawa's Jitte, Batterskull, and Control decks in general. And 3 copies of Price of Progress, very good for the same reason that Blood Moon's good.
Other side of things, lots of 1s and 2s here for Ben. A Cage, a Needle, a Relic, along with a Sword of Feast and Famine, 2 Meddling Mage, a Flusterstorm, a Surgical Extraction, 2 Zealous Persecution. And then all these 1-ofs from Dillian Click, Jason Mind Sculptor, Liliana the Veil, Supreme Verdict, and Thoughtseize.
So I think he can bring in the Supreme Verdict. That's going to do good work against Alex here, trying to protect his swarm of creatures with things like Daze and Force of Will. I think 2 copies of Zealous Persecution, excellent against Young Pyromancer and the tokens it generates. I think the 1 Flusterstorm, Alex is playing with enough cheap spells. Flusterstorm's pretty good against Treasure Cruise as well, so I can see that coming in. And I think the 1 copy of Relic of Progenitus, again, a concession to Treasure Cruise.
Probably just have to have it.
Yeah, it's low cost. The worst case scenario is you cycle it away, and it may keep Alex off of drawing 3 cards.
Joan Anton Mateo currently up a game here over Nicholas Malatesta. That means Teamer Delver up a game over the Mighty Combo Elves. Different take on Teamer Delver, by the way. You're typically used to seeing Nibble Mongoose. Not this time.
Treasure Cruise means that no threshold creatures in this deck.
Yeah, it's a different take. People have to update the way they do things. But that does make sense.
But it's fun,
Super
when the Legacy metagame shifts, because they're not printing better Brainstorms, they're not printing better Wastelands, so there's not going to be radical overhauls to the format most of the time. But Treasure Cruise may be one of the most influential cards printed. I mean, maybe you have to go back to Jace, really, to find a card that's going to influence decks this much.
Our Standard Open champion, Trevor Humphreys, won a little bit earlier today with Just Sky Aggro. Now he's playing, it looks like, deep into the modern Premier IQ as well.
Yep.
Not sure if in the finals just yet.
Big
but
Birthing Pod fan and plugging away there as well.
yeah, got his Nyapod deck with some Lotus Cobras. Powerful. Powerful stuff.
A deck you like.
I love. I've moved on from my Tron love affair.
So how do you think that deck is going to hold up in the face of Jeskai Ascendancy? Oddly enough, we saw basically no one playing it today when I was floating around the IQ table. There were no Ascendancy players.
So I think what's going to happen here with this particular build on Birthing Pod is probably have to move towards actually 4 Cobras. I think the trick now in Legacy is you have to be fast in your opponent, or in Modern you have to be super fast. You already had to be pretty fast, but I think you have to be like super crazy fast now, which Lotus Cobra allows you to do. Some number of fetch lands, you have to figure out the right way to do it. Though, when I played the Cobra Pod deck, actually, oddly enough, in this building in August, the fetch lands you had to play were a little bit awkward, right? Because you didn't have access to all of them. Now you actually get like Wooded Foothills.
The mana is improved significantly.
Yeah, and that's a 4-color deck. Like, yeah, you had to play Grove of the Burn Willows, which I think you probably still play because you don't care about their life total. But you actually get like the right fetch lands now.
Yeah.
That's a welcome change. So you get to play somewhere in the neighborhood of probably 8 to 10 fetch lands.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm not an expert on modern mana bases.
Yeah,
but
you probably get to play like 8 to 10, which makes your Cobras way better, obviously. And you'll have to change your bullets because of Jeskai Ascendancy.
I do know the times that I played against Pod in the 2 Grand Prix I played in of Modern and the 1 PTQ, it seemed like they often could not cast their cards, especially if you were going after their Hierarchs and Birds.
Yep. That happened to be the case more than you'd like to admit.
And my decks typically go after Hierarchs and Birds.
They do.
That's a strategy I like to employ.
You do like killing those. Here's a Delver of Secrets off of Misty Rainforest to start things up for game number 2. Volcanic Island is what Alex will search up. Ben Glancy draws a card. It's a copy of True Name Nemesis. That is a Polluted Delta. And just going to pass the turn back. But to finish the point on the Nyapod deck, you probably have to play some different bullets in your main deck. You know, maybe an Eidolon of Rhetoric or something, because possibly a Thalia. I don't know what it'll be, but you have to respect the Jeskai Ascendancy deck because it's so good. I have a feeling it's good in this format, too. I don't think anyone's found it yet, but I got a feeling.
There's so many good combo decks in Legacy, though. It would surprise me if it was the best combo deck to be playing.
You saw Delver flip into Insectile Aberration. Now here's a Brainstorm. Looks like Glancy's going to sacrifice his Polluted Delta. We're going to see a Spell Pierce go after Brainstorm again. Ben's going to want to figure out what land he's going to get since he's got a lot of options.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was a powerful Jeskai Ascendancy deck in Legacy. It would surprise me if it would be the best combo option because the bar is pretty high.
Alex is going to daze the Spell Pierce. We'll see what does happen. So he's figuring out what cards he wants to put back. And of course, he got the fetch land in play. So it'll be a perfect Brainstorm. And almost time. Always a tough decision. There's the 2. Alex, of course, already playing land for the turn. It was the fetch land. He's just going to pass the turn back over to Glancy. Glancy will draw and find a copy of Deathrite Shaman. You see he's got a Marsh Flats in his hand, so ability to cast that.
Deathrite's a great draw here for Ben because I don't think he wants to play any of his 2s into a potential daze. So Deathrite Shaman may be the card he wants to play anyway, and means he doesn't have to worry about it getting countered.
Yep. The big thing here for Ben is he just needs to get that Delver Secrets off the board before it deals. It's already dealt 3 before it deals 6 or 9.
Yeah, I am still surprised by how little just straight up spot removal people play in their sideboards of decks. Because this happens all the time. They still only have the 4 Swords of Plowshares post board, and if they don't have one, Insectile Aberration runs away with the game, and it just doesn't feel like this should happen as often as it does.
I agree with you. Especially when you have the ability to put the cards back via Brainstorm and shuffle them in.
Yeah. Put some paths in your sideboard, some disfigures, whatever. Just don't let this happen to you.
Take a draw. There's a Scalding Tarn. This is a Ponder. So take a look at a couple of cards here. That's, oof. That's not good. Not good Ponder.
No reason to think about it if it's that bad.
That's true. Not going to waste anybody's time here. This one stinks. Take a draw. There's an attack for 3. Sacrifice the Scalding Tarn. See what the follow-up's going to be. Might be time for just another Volcanic here. Yes, sir.
The other reason I like having more removal is so many of these Delver decks are just all set up and so few threats. You bust up their threat and they're left with some dazes and some bolts.
Yeah, it can be kind of embarrassing at times. See the Stoneforge Mystic there for Glancy. That's what he's going to go with. Will this resolve? Daze. Activates. Bye-bye land. Yes, this resolves. And again, that play might look a little bit strange, but it all works towards getting towards Treasure Cruise. That's why you're going to see that happen sometimes, I think. Got to get new Wazow's Cheetah.
Assuming Alex doesn't have another land drop, it's net neutral if he had another land in his hand to play.
There's Misty. Alex going to go searching here. There's Volcanic. So let's see, is it maybe a cruise?
Feels like that's what Alex is building towards with that Daze play last turn.
Yeah. There's also the potential there, right, where he doesn't want there to be 2 spells in 1 turn for Ben as well. But yeah, there's the cruise. You can't be too surprised by that.
This feels like a fight worth having. I guess Ben's still respecting the possibility of getting dazed.
So there's 3 cards there for Alex. Did get a great look at what he drew. An attack for 3 is pretty easy. Gonna put Glancy down to 9. See what the follow-up's gonna be. There's a Lightning Bolt to get rid of the Deathrite Shaman. Gonna start to try and cut some of the mana.
Makes sense with Ben missing some land drops here.
Yeah. There goes Deathrite.
Make it tough on Ben to commit his entire turn, putting an equipment into play.
That's just past the turn. Pretty good turn there for Bertoncini. Ponder the draw here for Glancy. There is the Ponder. Always got to be careful with the mana you select to use for that. Deathrite Shaman, Treasure Cruise, Brainstorm. I don't think it's time for any of those guys. Yeah, he's going to shuffle those back.
Curious to see Ben lead with the white mana instead of the black mana.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it takes his ability to Stoneforge and equipment off the table.
Mystery card. Yeah. I think it may have been another Ponder.
Vendilion Click. So this explains why he already has a Deathrite Shaman in hand he was intending on playing. So
does make more sense, but this is, you know, another turn that it takes to get the Umazao Shite played. I think that's the most important card that he has right now. Here's an attack for 1. Bertoncini's going to go down to 15. Alex going to quickly untap. Feels like he may have the win here. Yep, there's a Volcanic.
Alex has looked at so many cards and not really done a ton.
Old Swifty. Another Swifty. See if these are going to resolve. They will. Come on in. Deathrite looks like it wants to try to block one of these guys. This is Pyroblast. And what's unique about that is you can target something, and then if it's blue, it dies.
Yeah, this is one of the places where Pyroblast is a clear upgrade over Red Elemental Blast. This is in this deck where you have Young Pyromancer, you have Monastery Swiftspear. All you want to do is cast things, and Pyroblast and Hydroblast are unique insofar as they don't care about what they're targeting on announcement, just what things look like on resolution.
Yeah, you see, counter target spell if it is blue, or destroy target permanent if it is blue. So you can still target it. But if it's blue, if it's blue, it dies, and if it's not, that's cool.
So there's a lot of incentives here. Swiftspear in the deck, Young Pyromancer's in the deck. There's Grim Lava Mancer in the deck, so you just want to put things in your graveyard. Treasure Cruise. So Pyroblast, significantly better in this deck than Red Elemental Blast would be.
Just the thing for those pesky water mages.
Mm-hmm.
Some solid flavor text.
I think it's a little corny. But
you are.
Yep, a harsh critic,
You
yes.
are the least fun person I've ever met.
I just don't like things for the sake of liking it. Yep, you said it.
Here's a Treasure Cruise. Oof. Days. Well, Force of Will is probably okay.
Well, he can't win without it resolving, so
Yeah.
give it a shot.
1, Swords, 2, Ponder, 3, Treasure Cruise. I think we're headed to game 3. Yes, we are. Alex Bertoncini going to tie it up here against Ben Glancy. Blue or Delver, and Esper Deathblade headed to game number 3.
Not the smoothest Esper Deathblade draw right there.
Absolutely not. You see that Ben's going back to the board. He might change some things up here with all these 1s and 2s. He's got a lot of options.
He does. I still like the Supreme Verdict. There's a lot of cards in the sideboard I don't like in this matchup. Things like Vendilion Click, which normally come in normal matchups. I don't think they have much of a place here. But I think the Relic, totally fine. The Zealous Persecutions are good.
Some good options.
Yeah, but not a lot of upgrades.
Zealous Persecution's like kind of interesting because Ben had that in his hand for most of that game and did nothing. You know, it's great against the Young Pyromancer half of the deck, you know?
Well, that is the consequence of not having more removal to bring in, just easy spot removal on top of the Swords to Plowshares.
And we do have an update for you guys on our other match. We'll certainly let you know. Again, Nicholas Malatesta against Joan Anton Mateo. Joan is up a game right now with Teamer Delver against Combo Elves. They are still in game number 2. Again, that's our backup match here in the semis. If we do have time to move that way, we will. Don't forget, next weekend, it'll be sweet. Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, me and you.
I haven't been there. Okay, well, it's weird to say I haven't been there since I fly through there a lot. But I haven't actually been there to play a tournament or do a show in, wow.
So I went there once,
Okay.
actually into the city proper, to cover a show last year or 2 years ago with Shaheen Sarani.
Okay.
And one of my best friends lives in the area, so hang out on Friday, then do the show.
I think the last time I played a tournament there was Nationals that Joshua Layton won. I believe that was 2011. I think it was 2011.
Okay.
That's horrifying.
That was a long time
It's
ago.
one of my favorite places to play Magic. Really like it. Downtown Minneapolis is pretty sweet.
It's nice.
And we're going to get there right before it gets really cold.
That's not true. It's already freezing.
It's not that bad. Not that bad.
We're going to get snowed in.
It's October.
We're going to get snowed in, dude.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to hang out with each other for an extra day or two. But I'm looking forward to that. And then after that, we're going to Oakland. That should be fun, too. Open Series is getting moving here for Season 4. I hope we don't get snowed. I hope you didn't jinx us again. You jinxed us last time for the polar vortex.
That's not even true.
Sounds true. We can run back the tape. Those were during Andrew Shrout's playing days when we were in Indy in week 1.
Yeah.
He's too good for the game now.
Simpler times for Andrew Shrout.
I would say he's too good for the game, but he won the Magic Online Pizza Queue last weekend, so congrats to him.
Yep.
Our man in the sideboard. Talk about still having it. Gonna be interesting to see what happens here for Ben. He definitely had some mana issues in that game. But I feel like if he just kind of has a normal draw like he did in game 1, he should be able to take it down. His cards are just more powerful.
They are, but I think this is an issue. You know, the mana base here is just tough. He's not always going to have everything on time. And one of his, defensive options that is supposed to do some real heavy lifting in the normal creature matchups, Liliana the Veil is not very good here. Not good against Young Pyromancer. Also, if he plays it and he takes something away, a Swift Spear can come down and knock it out too.
Yeah, that's true. Liliana's like laughably bad, I think, in the matchup.
It's going to have moments, but it's not good.
7 cards. Glancy's going to keep. We'll see if Bertoncini will.
An Underground Sea for Ben, the 7th card he pulled up. I think the difference between a mulligan and a really good hand, I think he's got a good keeper.
I was going to say, I don't know if that's the only land that he has, but I think he did keep once he found that one. Alex will draw a card. Volcanic, maybe. We'll see. Misty instead. Got to start working on that graveyard after all. There's
Yep.
a Grim Lavamancer. Makes a little more sense now. Glancy will draw a card.
Lavamancer's excellent here for Alex, because if it dies, no big loss, and if it sticks, that's awesome.
Here's Thoughtseize. Ponder, Delver, Cruise, along with the Volcanic and a Misty Rainforest. Not the most threatening hand, I would say.
And this is one of the odd thought seasons where I could see any of the cards in Alex's hand being the one selected.
I'm leaning towards Ponder right now. I'm probably wrong. You're probably supposed to take Treasure Cruise, but I'm leaning towards Ponder. I like just, taking Ponder and then Swords in the Grimlothmancer and moving on.
Yeah. The thing with the Treasure Cruise is with Deathrite Shaman in play, you do have some ability to mitigate it.
Absolutely. He's going to go with the Cruise, though. I just don't ever like giving these decks the opportunity to, basically just do their thing. Here's a Brainstorm. So here's 1 Stoneforge, 2 is Brainstorm, 3 is Treasure Cruise.
And I was surprised to see Ben brainstorm this turn because it doesn't seem like his hand could improve very much.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have the Force of Will, which maybe he doesn't want, but...
Going to sacrifice, and now he's going to Swords that. Probably go get a Tundra. So it's a good turn. I do agree with you with the Brainstorm because it feels like he's got a lot of stuff that he needs already, and he wants to exhaust those options first, and then if something changes, then he can Brainstorm.
I can see not wanting Force of Will at this stage, but it seems like you want to wait until you have a card in your hand you don't want on top of the Force of Will before you're brainstorming.
2 Delvers here. And then we will head back Glancy's way. See what Ben's able to draw this turn. Zealous Persecution would be nice.
Would not be shabby.
Polluted Delta. More fuel for the Deathrite Shaman.
I mean, he has an opening here where he can plow and cast Stoneforge Mystic without worrying about days.
And he knows Alex's hand.
Yeah.
I think only one card's a mystery.
I think he just
I
drew
think
it.
he just drew days, yeah. But he can still, but he can still play around days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He has it all rolled up.
Yeah, so he's okay. See what he wants to search up here, equipment-wise. Batterskull or Ajite, both quite good. He's giving it some thought here, that's for sure. Looks like he's leaning towards Batterskull. Okay, Ajite it is. Oh, he's going to sacrifice the fetch land.
Yeah, Jite is a little safer because even if Alex rips a removal spell, it doesn't really matter that much.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that Alex has Ponder in hand, so he's going to get a lot of looks at it next turn.
Swords of Delver. Clear that up. Now, of course, Jite is in hand, not in play, so Stoneforge Mystic would be rather good if it worked that way.
I also would have just gotten the Batterskull.
Touche, touche. It's time for a Ponder. So Alex will look at a couple of cards here. Consult the grip. See if he's happy with what he sees. And he's already got a fetch land in place, so he can take one card and then shuffle, of course, the others away.
I feel like if this does not contain a removal spell, he has to just shuffle everything.
Well, he's keeping it. Didn't get a great look at the card that he drew.
Or some way to stop the Jite if you found a needle or smash smithereens.
See a Daze or a Scalding Tarn. Just going to pass the turn back. Delver didn't flip, of course. Glancy going to draw. Copy of Flooded Strand. And there is a world that exists where we just see Ben say, all right, I'll put the Jite through the Stoneforge Mystic, and then I'll equip the Deathrite Shaman. I'll try to get you. That world exists.
He also has Cruise as a backup turn. So he's got two very good options.
Got a lot of stuff to do.
We will see, but two very good paths here for Penn.
Yeah. Kind of win-win. Ooh, that's risky casting that. That is so risky hard casting that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what is gained by the cast.
Yeah. It's going to pay 1. Because if that gets Force of Willed, I mean, he's okay because he has a Treasure Cruise and backup, but it's still really risky just to hard cast that.
I'd rather win the game on easy mode than hard mode.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And remove. Now equip. See if Alex has some sort of removal spell or a card like Smash Smithereens or something to get that thing off the table. Alex is very quickly fetching here.
Well, he kept with the Ponder, and like I said, if he didn't have some way to disrupt this Jite equipping, then he had to shuffle away.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like it is hit. So now it makes me wonder what Alex's card is that he kept.
I mean, I guess Sulfuric Vortex? But even still, that's not really an answer to this problem. Ben's at 15. It's not the life gain that's going to kill him. It's his creature's getting locked out.
That's a Scalding Tarn. He's just going to pass the turn back. I'm as confused as you, my friend. Don't know what he kept with the Ponder. I think Ben's probably confused too. Glancy. I think he's taking a look at his sideboard real quick to make sure he knows exactly what's in his deck. Don't have a great look at his graveyard right now, see how many cards are over there, but looks like enough to cruise for 1. Might have to pay an additional mana. Yep.
Oh, man. So expensive.
Yeah. A Trop, a Deathrite, and a Delta. Not the best treasure cruise I've ever seen. But
So much mana. 2.
here's an attack for only 1. All right, let's make it 3. Nope, 3 counters. So there's an attack for 1. I wasn't sure if he may have kept like a card like Blood Moon. It doesn't look to be the case.
Yeah, he would have cast it last turn, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Deathrite Shaman. Gonna allow him to cast another Deathrite Shaman. Alex gonna draw a card. He's in some serious trouble. Again, this is a situation where I don't know how his deck gets out of this. I think that's the big problem.
Well, he has 1 copy of Smash the Smithereens, and then he can start playing from there. But Ben still has draw steps and things in play. It's not like it's not like the game's over.
Glancy gonna untap here. Thought seizes the draw. In case he's worried about something, I suppose he can cast that, but it looks like he's just gonna start by attacking. Yep. Up to 5. Now he does have to again be careful, I think, with how he manages the GT a little bit. He's building a lot of counters on it, so if the Smash Smithereens does come rolling off the top.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I can see erring on the side of caution against a deck with Young Pyromancer because you don't want Alex to have some explosive turn and you're short on counters to answer everything. But the presence of Smash Smithereens means Ben maybe not deploys all the counters, but some of them in case Alex draws a Smash. You don't lose everything.
There's a Lightning Bolt. Might be going after Deathrite Shaman here. We'll see. Looks like Ben does have a little bit of action here. I think he's going to drain Alex for 2. And his Deathrite Shaman's going to bite the dust. Alex will draw a card. Looks like there might be another Lightning Bolt here. Monastery Swift Spear. And now a little attack for 1. Looks like Deathrite wants to get in front.
Sure.
Pretty safe.
5 GT counters is pretty good insurance
Yeah.
against combat getting a little weird.
Yep. Alex going to sacrifice Scalding Tarn. Looks like he's going to go get himself a Volcanic Island. He's going to get a mountain this time. There's 2 mana. It is Price of Progress. And Alex will sacrifice it. Looks like maybe the Scalding Tarn would price on the stack. That may have been the card that he kept. There's a chance of that.
I guess I guess that's possible, but it still feels like he has to win the fight over Jite that turn.
Yeah.
Or give himself a chance of winning a fight over Jite. Even if he keeps, let's say, a Lightning Bolt, there's no guarantee that the next turn doesn't go on something else, but at least it gives him a shot.
And in response to Price of Progress, Ben can just say, all right, I'm going to remove a Jite counter to try to kill this and then remove another one to get that off the table. So Price is going to resolve, and now we're going to drain you. And I think we've got ourselves a Ben Glancy moving on to the finals, Patrick.
It appears that way.
Alex is at 8. Not a lot that can go wrong. Attack you. Pump up the jam. Pump it up. Pump it up. That'll be 1. That'll be 7. 2 charge counters, as long as he doesn't forget the trigger. But he might just shortcut here because he's got a Death Red Shaman activation for lethal, it looks like. And that's going to do it. Ben Glancy is going to win this match over Alex Bertoncini 2-1. Esper Deathblade got to take down Blue-Red Delver, and Ben Glancy is on to the finals. #1 overall seed has not lost a match.
Not surprising. I think a matchup that favors Ben. The game 2 thing can happen where Delver's Secrets just goes unchecked. There's still Source of Plowshares, but I think if Ben's able to get his shop online, he's got a very good matchup against Alex.
Well, congratulations again to Ben Glancy. For Alex, a good tournament, good run, more Open Series points. Probably move him up the leaderboard a little bit, I think.
One would imagine.
We could see him up to maybe 6 or 5 now. So working his way towards a Players' Championship in Roanoke at the end of the year, as we're going to bring it back.